W-U-R-S-T. We made quite a few worst jokes in Germany, if I remember.
I'm
while
sure
we were out
it's
in
just
Berlin.
constantly. I'm sure they're so sick of American tourists like making worse jokes. Give me your worst sausage. Yeah, I'm sure that's the way we're going to start off. Those are the jokes that you're going to get here.
Well, I think what they hated most was me and Drew walking around everywhere, like doing our Dieter from Sprockets impressions. You like the schnitzel, yeah? It was everywhere.
And we're going to lose any kind of a German audience that we had right here. That's going to happen. All right, we rolling in here. It looks like it. Hello, everyone. This is Trends with Benefits. This is our weekly Roundtable Tech podcast where we talk about everything that's going on in the world of tech. We have a ton of things to get to today. We're broadcasting live on Facebook and YouTube right now. We're going to talk about everything from Apple's drones that they have, Burger King and Google Home and the stunt that they pulled. We've got the Samsung Galaxy S8. We've got a robot fight, which I am very excited about. So we're going to discuss all these things. And as we're broadcasting live, we want your comments, your questions, whatever you have. Join us there on YouTube and Facebook and let us know what you want to talk about. The first thing we're going to talk about, I think I'm upset about, and we're going to find out what we can do about this or why this happened. But first off, I'm Greg Nibble. Let's introduce our roundtable. To my right,
Matt Smith.
Matt Smith. Hello, Matt.
Naomi Vo.
Hello, Naomi. And
The Whiskey Mist.
the Whiskey Mist. You'll have to listen to the back episodes to get the story of the Whiskey Mist.
The Whiskey Mist is back. I'm Caleb. Nice to see you guys again.
Caleb. Oh, right. Fine. Caleb, a.k.a. the Whiskey Mist. I prefer Whiskey Mist,
Whiskey Mist.
and I think that's what we're going to have to go
Let's
with.
just stick with it.
Yeah, we're going with that. All right, so let's get this. This is the breaking news that just happened this afternoon. Nintendo. We all know about the Nintendo Classic that they released last year, which sold 1 billion copies. It's still, I think, hard to kind of get a hold of one. And
It's a game console, not a record album, dude.
it's true.
1 billion copies.
Well,
It
it
went
was-
platinum.
It was odd terminology.
It's odd terminology. All right, 1 billion consoles copies. All right,
Sorry.
fair enough. Right out the gate, I'm already screwing it up. All right.
Have you guys heard of these video games? Can you comment on them, sir?
The B side was amazing. We all know that. But all right, so the NES Classic, and these things are selling to the roof, and we do have something that I'm going to bring up here in just a minute. But now Nintendo has announced they are stopping sales on it. They're stopping making them altogether.
Stop the factory. No more NES Classics.
That's it.
We'll be allowed out.
You're all having too much fun. We have to stop this now.
The Whiskey Mist is pissed.
There's a lot of pissed
Oh,
off
you didn't get
people.
one yet, huh?
Do you
No.
have one?
You want?
No.
Did you want one?
Jack
Yeah.
yeah. Too.
Really?
Yeah.
And now he's going to sell one of them for like $500.
Yeah. No, if you
And
got
that's the
one,
thing.
you keep a hold of that.
Yeah, if you've been seeing it, because they were selling it for what, $60 originally? I think
Yeah,
this was the actual
$60.
price.
50, 60,
It's
yeah.
already Rich behind the scenes here was trying to find one frantically online today, and they were all, I think, $120, $200. Like everything's jacked up. Everybody's reselling these things now,
Yeah.
and they're all out of stock everywhere. So, Matt, I'm going to ask you, why would they stop Why would they stop selling this? Tell me, Matt. Tell me why.
Well, I was looking at some of the articles that are being published about it today, and like Polygon's like it basically says Nintendo hates money.
Right.
You know, like
yeah, I saw that.
And I was doing a little, just quick math on this, and it's a $60 console, right? And so far, according to what we heard, they sold 1.5 million of them, which worked out to $90 million.
Yeah, $90 million.
That is nothing. That's not much money.
No, not to Nintendo.
Like
Yeah, but what was their cost on
Nintendo, I mean, they were probably, not that cheap. Like, I don't imagine the hardware is that cheap, but you still got to ship them. You got to, package them and all that. So, I mean, like, they weren't making a bunch of money off of this. Like, Nintendo last year made, like, over $400,000 million. So, whether or not they sold this many NES Classics was kind of immaterial. And here's the real key, I think, is that Nintendo I think they just kind of did this because, like, they thought it would be fun. And
it's supposed to be maybe a novelty type thing.
Yeah, but they want you to play, like, their classic games on a Switch now or before a Wii U because they have actually, the Switch doesn't have the Virtual Console yet, but they always come out with a Virtual Console on their new consoles, where you go back and you buy their classic games for usually like $5, maybe $10, and like they would much rather you do that than buy this $60 thing, which like doesn't play any of their other new games and actually gives you a bunch of games for free.
How's the Switch selling? Is there any possibility that
I think the Switch is selling really well. Yeah.
I wonder if they saw maybe the Classic cannibalizing Switch sales or anything like that, or
See, if anything else, I would think that's just getting Nintendo the name back out there again. So to where somebody's revisiting Nintendo, if somebody who hasn't bought a newer system in a long time, or at least not a new Nintendo system, a Wii or anything like that, and they're like, oh yeah, Nintendo Classic, oh, they also have this new system out. Well, maybe I should give them another shot again. I think it'd be good. I think that would be a good move on that
I think
part
the
to keep that
Classic
thing
was
going.
priced suspiciously low.
Yeah.
$60 doesn't seem like enough for, given the demand and the desirability of that.
Yeah.
I think that's at least $100.
I think they really did underestimate. I think,
Popularity.
how much people would want them, because it is like really simple, right?
Yeah.
So it's like the perfect like little gift, like $60. You get a bunch of old games. Even someone that like doesn't play a lot of games is probably gonna. It might be something they appreciate. They can plug into their TV easily.
Right. Yeah.
But like I said, they weren't making a bunch of money off of it. So I'm not terribly surprised they ended up, saying, okay, guys,
That's it. The fun's
you had
over.
enough. You had enough fun.
Yeah.
But go buy a Switch or a Wii U.
Yeah,
Please.
and go back to that. I'm looking here in the chat. Dave says I still have 2 unopened. So you're sitting on gold, Dave. Yeah, sitting on gold at home right now. I do have this, though, and Holly just wrote, so tomorrow at noon, there's going to be a giveaway that's going live for an NES Classic here from Digital Trends. So digitaltrends.com/giveaways. Pay attention to that website. So, yeah, tomorrow at noon, we'll be giving one away if it lasts through the night here.
Yeah, I was
That's
gonna
what I'm
say,
saying.
but
One of us is taking off of this
still
thing.
in the office tomorrow.
And we already have a winner,
It actually
and his
is
name's the
not
Whiskey
it.
Mist, and he is just on right now. So, yeah, pay attention to that. That's pretty cool. So, digitaltrends.com/giveaways. All right, so that's the news. Keep coming into the comments here. Let us know what you think, and if you have one at home, or if you're willing to pay whatever it is, I think $200 now to get one. All right, we've got a lot of things to get through here. So, next topic. It's been trending all week long, and it is the Samsung Galaxy S8. So if you have pre-ordered one, let us know. A couple of things I just wanted to highlight on that. The pre-order sales seem to be huge. They just announced, I think, 720,000 pre-orders just in South Korea, just South Korea alone. I think there was like 50,000 a day is what they were estimating, and I know there's a lot of people here who are pre-ordering it. Are you guys gonna get it at all? Any?
I'm
No.
not a Samsung
Nope.
person.
Really?
No.
Ooh, I think this might be like the harshest crowd possible then.
Yeah. Wow. This is a rough group.
I
Tough
think we all
crowd.
got opinions.
So why is it that you wouldn't try it? Why are you not
I
a
would
Samsung
try
person?
it, but I don't know. I've just always been a loyal Apple
Yeah. So and that's
fan.
it. You're just never
It's
gonna
just what it
switch?
is. I mean, I have family members that use Samsung, and I try it out, and I just don't like it. I don't know. I just don't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Your
Caleb,
face,
nobody's gonna
Matt.
switch. Matt's not gonna switch.
Matt's-
Well, I want it Samsung, so you can send me one. I would definitely try it out. I've usually been an LG person, but I'm definitely Android. So I mean, it looks cool to me. There are a few different things out about it that I did want to bring up. And if you really were a Samsung fan, which obviously nobody in here is, you could get the solid gold version. So much like Apple, when they came out with their solid gold, I think it was the iPhone. Was it 7?
Six.
Six
Was
was
the
the
six?
six
Yeah,
was
the six.
six was the gold. There is now a version you can get of the Galaxy S8 that is gold, and you said something about
They've
platinum.
got platinum
a
as
platinum
well.
version as well. That kind of thing just seems so ridiculous to me of why you would ever get something like that for a phone.
Yeah, I don't know how many copies of that they're going to sell.
Well, somebody's going to buy it.
Yeah.
There'll
Yeah,
be
I mean,
there'll be some diamond encrusted versions
Yeah.
eventually, and
Yeah.
excuse me. Yeah, for sure. Somebody will buy it, but
It'll be big in like United Arab Emirates.
I think
or
it
something.
starts
That's where-
at $2,800 or something like that. It's definitely
Oh,
a
that's actually
pricey
less than I
little-
thought it would be.
Really?
I mean, I'll go get one of those.
So they've got that out, so you could definitely pick that up for if you're willing to pay that much money. But the big thing for them, so far, I would definitely say this rollout, although it's not in anybody's actual hands yet, better than the Note fiasco. We haven't heard of anything yet, although we'll have to wait until it's really out there in the public. But one thing that's going to be a big issue that they've really been pushing hard on these new Samsung phones is the Bixby artificial assistant. so the Bixby Assistant that is supposed to come out with these things.
Is that a small stuffed animal that comes with
Yes.
your phone?
It does sound like a little
It
bear.
kind of
Bear,
like
yeah.
coos when you pet its head. And you're like, oh.
like a Teddy Ruxpin kind of thing? Or
So-
something?
Teddy Ruxpin meets Furby.
Set a timer for
Yeah.
10 minutes. It's like, ooh, okay.
By the way, the new voice of Bixby.
Is that what
It's
that
right
is?
here.
Yeah.
Is
This
that what
it.
that is?
Bixby
Or
here.
is this?
Matt's got a new voiceover gig.
So, Bixby, though, if you are an English speaker, you will not be able to use Bixby when it rolls out. And this is one of their huge things they've been pushing for the marketing campaign about the Bixby system that's supposed to run everything on this phone. And I guess it's just not good enough. And the best they've said is that it's going to be out later this spring, that there will be an update for Bixby, which leaves a huge window for Google and, well, especially Google, to kind of take over that functionality and leave Bixby behind, leave Bixby forgotten. What do you guys think about this? As far as terrible idea.
To be forgotten, someone would first have to remember Bixby.
Oh.
And I don't
Biting.
think that anyone has yet. I mean, I think, this is kind of like, for me, this is kind of part of my problem with Samsung phones in the first place is like, they insist on having this weird like ecosystem of their own that usually doesn't work that
They've
well.
got their own app store, I think.
Like, and it's like the phone itself is like really nice, right? But then they like add all this stuff because they want to act like they have this whole ecosystem. And it's just
It's
not
really
a great
just kind of
ecosystem.
like it's just kind of like bloatware on a computer.
It is like
the phone
bloatware on
comes
a
with a bunch of
computer.
stuff that you don't want. Just
Yeah.
give me the basic tool and let me build it the way I want it to be.
Basic Android is nice.
Yeah.
Which is supposed to be what Android's about, right? I mean,
Yeah.
much more open source.
One day, a long, long time ago.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, so I guess you're saying it's not really going to affect it that much. Like,
I mean,
just
actually,
like-
I would say that like no Bixby probably isn't going to affect it that much because I sincerely don't think that like hardly anyone in North America has any idea what that really is.
I don't think they do. I know that when we
So-
talked about the phone, Jeremy, our editor in chief, wrote a big op-ed on Bixby, its inclusion in the phone. I mean, we flew to South Korea, visited Samsung there, got our hands on the phone. They talked Bixby up for a long, long time. I just think it was odd that they didn't want to mention, hey, oh, and by the way, it's not going to be available for English speakers
Yeah.
for a little while. It makes sense. It was developed in South Korea, then they probably needed to build it to recognize Korean language first, and then eventually port over everything for English recognition. But I mean, Samsung's a huge company. Just what this says to me is that Bixby is not ready for prime time. I mean,
Exactly,
there are very few apps that it works with, so it can't do that much for you yet. It promises to do a lot of things, but the whole idea of like holding your camera up to a product, at a store or something like that, and then you can it'll automatically buy it for you or
Right.
whatever. Like, none of that stuff is going to work. That's all pie in the sky dream stuff. And kind of going to the whole Samsung liking to have its own ecosystem and go that direction. I think it's a mess. Just leave this to like Google and Apple and Amazon. That's their bag. They're developing these amazing AIs, digital assistants,
and that's true. They are
language
starting
recognition.
off-
They've got it down pat. It's I don't know. I don't think this is an area that Samsung should be dabbling in.
Does anybody really use any kind of phone assistant? Do you use well, never mind. Do you use Siri? Do you use Siri a lot? I forget the room I'm in. Do you use Siri a lot?
I
As far
do
as-
sometimes whenever I'm like lazy,
Yeah.
but otherwise no. I mean, I see other people like text on there and stuff. It works fine, but I don't ever really feel the need to use it.
Yeah.
I think. Well, I use it every day, all day.
Okay.
Mostly.
What do you use it for?
Well, it's mostly for CarPlay. So Siri
Okay.
works
Okay.
with car. You plug it in your car, and then Siri will read you text messages that are coming in and let you dictate responses. It's all hands-free stuff. So I use Siri mostly in the car, also to set alarms at night. Because I can't be bothered to like hit the app and scroll through like tons and tons and tons of different alarms that I've set over the past couple of years. But so I use Siri that way. Sometimes I'll ask a question just to get a quick answer, about weather or whatever. But again, mostly in the car. That's where it's most useful for me. If I have the device in my hand, I can usually get to what I want faster that way,
Okay.
just manually.
All right. Let us know, too, if you're watching, if you use a phone assistant or if you use any of that constantly. So it sounds
I
like
use Alexa
one
a
yes,
lot.
one no. And that's, Alexa I definitely use at home quite a bit. And that kind of brings it to the next thing. And I don't know if a lot of people saw this, but Burger King actually, it was a pretty good stunt. It was an ad they put out this week trying to mess with Google Home. And this advertisement, it's about 15 seconds long, a television advertisement, and it's this guy in a Burger King outfit talking about a Whopper. He's like, this is a Burger King ad, to paraphrase it, this Burger King ad is only 15 seconds long. Not enough time to explain what's in a Whopper. So let's try this. And they zoom in, and he says, Google Home, tell me what's in a Whopper. And it activates anybody who had a Google Home device anywhere near the television.
I can't believe that works.
And it did. It worked. It totally worked. And the devices would start reading off the ingredients of the Whopper. I guess they were using the Wikipedia page for it. So naturally, once this started, people started messing with the Wikipedia page and had some various different responses that it would start reading off. So I think one was
people
said,
put down like toenail clippings and
yeah,
stuff. in
toenail
it.
clippings, or it's made with 100% rats or something like that. But they got away with it for a while, and then Google has somehow updated software to where it won't respond to this particular command. I don't know whether it's just the guy's voice or whether where it just won't respond to that call for what's in a Whopper. But it's a pretty smart move, and it makes you think about what availability there is for all of these different home systems now. You know, because I was noticing it just watching. I was watching a television show where there was a character named Alexis, and every time her name was said, Alexa would just pop up out of nowhere saying she didn't understand what the question was. It was freaky as hell when it first happened.
We had that happen in my home the other day. There was something on the TV or whatever. It activated Alexa, and then what Alexa heard was some dialogue on the show. And the words "no doubt" were spoken. The next thing you know, it's blaring "No Doubt" music at like volume 9 throughout my entire house.
That's amazing.
And the thing is, my house guests didn't know how Alexa worked. They didn't know how to stop it, and so I wasn't there. They just felt powerless to deal with the situation. And so I come in, and they're like, we had to just unplug it because it was all of a sudden it just started blaring "No Doubt" in our faces. Yeah. I'm actually surprised that nobody thought of this before. Because maybe it seems like an obvious idea now that it's been done. But I'm also curious, why did they go with OK Google as opposed to Alexa? Because Alexa sources Wikipedia for its answers as well.
Yeah.
So they could have done the same thing using Amazon Alexa. That's weird. So
right.
Was it
so
OK
it's
Google?
OK Google is the
they
key
said?
phrase, or do you
Right.
say Google Home? Honestly, I haven't.
OK
used it.
Google.
OK Google.
Because that would
Okay.
work with like your phone then too. I think that might be part of.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would work with your phone.
Okay, yeah, because
Yeah,
the
even an
report
Android
didn't talk
phone.
about the phones doing it, but maybe that is, it would. It would
Maybe
work
that
with
was
too.
the intent, and it didn't work. I
And
don't
it didn't
know.
work, and either way, it worked as far as it's getting a lot of publicity for Burger King. For a 15-second ad of just some guy standing there, it's a pretty good move.
It's a good little stunt.
It's a good stunt.
It's not going to get me in the door for their stupid chicken fries, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm still
You
not
don't
going.
like those?
I'm not-
I love
I didn't have a
chicken
good
fries
experience the last time I
aficionado.
ate them, and I don't
Really?
I don't think I'll be back.
bad chicken fry experience. All right.
Shame.
Well, okay, there it is.
Have you ever had a hot dog at Burger King?
No.
Yeah, I did see
I don't
that
know
they sell
why.
them.
I've seen the
You do
commercials.
that.
They were really pushing that for a while.
Big time.
It was like every time I turned on the TV,
This
it was
segment,
like, hey, you get hot dogs at Burger King. Hey, I was like, I don't want to. Just chill out, okay?
This segment brought to you by Chicken Fries here at Digital Friends. All right. Well, anyway, I think it's a smart move, and I'll just be curious to see what other advertisers do, how they work this in, and pull other stunts like that.
I don't
'Cause
think we'll
they
see
can't
too
block.
much else of it.
Maybe not a lot.
Because they're gonna they're gonna eventually probably just patch out this kind of thing.
But how can they patch it out for every instance? That's
Well, they should make it recognize your voice.
just yeah.
I
I
don't
was going to
under-
ask that.
Why
Is
don't
it
they
similar
do-
to Siri or no?
No,
Alexa and
I
Google
don't
Home.
think it is.
Okay. Because Siri is like all about your own
I'm not
voice.
that familiar with.
Did you have to set
Alexa.
up a voice thing with Alexa?
You can
Okay.
change
No.
the activation word. Yeah, for
Yeah, you can change the activation word. You can actually just mute it. You can mute the listening button so that you actually have to unmute it in order to use it. But it's not specific. Anybody who comes over to my house can use it anytime.
I mean, I'm waiting for the stories about man comes home to find kid purchased new Toyota Corolla with Google Home.
Yeah.
That happened with Alexa. Yes.
Yeah.
So, it's even worse with Alexa because Alexa is directly tied to Amazon.
Yep.
And
and it'll ask like, would you like to order this? And yeah, you can just say yes.
Mm-hmm.
Or
That's a security protocol right there. Would you like to order this?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yes, I would. Yeah, that's pretty much
certify
it.
that I am the owner of this device.
Well, we'll see what happens with it. See what other people. I mean, not just advertisers in general, but I think this is kind of opening the eyes of everybody of what the possibilities are with all of these systems. The more and more people have them, there's going to be some nefarious uses, I'm sure. All right, let's go on to a couple other topics here that we've got left. And again, we're broadcasting live on YouTube and Facebook, so go ahead and drop in your comments right there and let us know what you think about any of these. So, Apple is now you're going to see something in their stores maybe as soon as next week.
chicken fries?
Not chicken fries. Surprisingly, not chicken fries.
Apple approved organic chicken fries.
By the way, anybody who is just watching this podcast, how many times we just said Siri and Alexa and OK Google?
And chicken fries.
Really
And chicken
screwed up.
fries.
Yeah, and chicken fries.
Alexa, buy me chicken fries.
All right, so Apple has purchased an exclusive deal with Beijing-based 00 Robotics to become the sole seller of the Hover Camera Passport. And we, I think, had one of these here at Digital Trends. Yeah, it's really cool. It's essentially it's a rectangular. What would I say? Looks kind of like a vent, like a air vent almost.
Yeah.
I mean, it really does.
Yeah.
And it's a square drone that will hover in place. It's pretty impressive, actually. You can push on it, and it'll go back to its actual spot wherever it is that you've set it. And it's got a camera on it, and now they are going to be selling them as a bundle where you get a drone, 2 batteries, a charger, an adapter, and a bag for $500. And it is going to be a new selfie camera drone that they are selling at the Apple stores.
Glad they tossed that bag in.
The bag is key.
That's the real value add
The bag is
right
key.
there.
I guess that's $100 cheaper than what they're selling, what the
Nice.
Chinese firm's selling them on their own site. But you are going to start seeing these a lot of places. So if you hated selfie sticks, you are really going to hate
Selfie drones.
Selfie drones. And you know they're going to be pushing this really hard. What do you guys think? Would you use a selfie drone? Are you a public selfie drone? I mean, I still can't bring myself to use a selfie stick in public. I do have one. I will. My mom got it for me for Christmas. That's all. That's the only reason.
I actually don't think these are going to take off right now.
You don't think so?
It's still too big.
It's still too the drone
still
itself
too
is
big.
too big.
Not gonna take off. Really?
Yeah, worked it in. So this think about selfie stick, right? Like
Uh-huh.
they're these big, huge, annoying things, but the brilliant thing about the selfie stick is a lot of them collapse. So then you end up with this little thing. It's really portable. But we had this selfie drone. I saw Drew using it and watched it follow him around. That's cool. It's not very big, but it's still a little bit too big, I think, for most people to carry around. It's about I don't know, about
Well,
the
you
size
need a
of
bag for it.
It's like a DVD cartridge, right?
Right. Is
The
it?
size? Yeah,
it's a
about the
little
size
bit
of
bigger than-
a DVD case.
Oh,
Is
okay.
it? Okay.
And thicker. And so it's not like something you're gonna stick in your back pocket or
Right.
something like that. How much is it?
$500
By the way.
For the whole
So-
kit.
for the bundle,
the batteries and all that.
which that price will probably go down. I'm assuming.
I'm assuming that walking into an Apple store is going to be way more annoying than it normally
That's
is.
the thing.
You know what I mean?
That's what I mean. If these things start proliferating, if everybody, because even if it's not this one, eventually this is going to be a thing where people
Yeah.
will have selfie drones. If they have to
They'll
make it
get
smaller,
smaller.
yeah, whatever it is. And so you're going to start seeing everywhere you go, you're just going to hear the whir of a drone and really obnoxious people trying to get a shot of whatever it is that they're doing. I mean, I think it's cool for somebody who's an actual photographer. Like these are great, but they already have drone options that are out there.
Yeah.
This is for the personal annoying person that you're going to see in everywhere.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's just kind of a fun toy, but I can't really see it being a lot more than that.
I think that
I
the
don't
people.
know. I think it's going to take off.
No, I don't. I think it's going to stay grounded.
I think sales will
on
fly
the ground.
high
Oh,
with
God.
these. Yeah.
I'm willing to bet that the people that use these are going to earn themselves like a name. Remember how
Oh,
with
yeah.
Google Glass they
Yeah.
became the glass holes?
Uh-huh.
These guys will get a name too. I mean, well, you can call them narcissists if you like, but I
Yeah.
think they'll, some
Nah,
sort of
not
catchy
quite catchy
little.
enough.
Yeah, exactly, something catchier.
Trendy enough.
It will. There'll be a hashtag for it and everything, and they'll be out there annoying us, and we'll love to hate them for a while, and then I think we're all just forget about it.
Then people will like start carrying around fly swatters,
Yes.
knocking them out of the sky.
Oh, that would be pretty great. Somebody will come up with something like that. Who's the guy on the Chicago subway? I think it was the Chicago train that he finally got busted, but for years he had a jamming device.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
I can't remember exactly where it was, but he had this jamming device, so anybody on the same car he was, their phones just wouldn't work.
Yep.
And then finally they busted this guy. Somebody's going to be like that with drones.
Yeah.
Figure out a way to they all drop anywhere that you're around. That's a pretty good idea. Okay. All right. Something else with Apple, just really quick before we get into the robot fight, which I want to find out who thinks who you guys think is gonna win this. Apple is doing something else, and this was a big story today that came out. They are working with it's kind of a scary way to say this, but Apple is working with a small team of biomedical engineers conducting research at a nondescript location in Palo Alto. This is according to CNBC.
Nondescript?
Nondescript.
Oh.
That's what it says. The idea is good, if this is what they're doing, is that they're working on a way to essentially help, at first, diabetics. So instead of having to prick your skin and test your blood and do all that stuff, this would be able to test your glucose levels through the skin. You don't have to actually pierce the skin to do it. And they're working with it to maybe work with either an iPhone or an Apple Watch, something like that. And I think that's a really, really cool use of technology. I mean, that's a great way to do it. What else they could do with this? Again, there's always the nefarious side that Apple's working with a small team of biomedical engineers. That phrase is like the start of a bad movie. But the idea is pretty great. So it'll be interesting to see where they go with that and if they can actually make this happen.
Well, if they get to own the intellectual property on that, patents and trademarks and whatnot, if that's huge for them. I mean, diabetes is a huge problem in this country, and this is a serious pain point for folks who, I mean, have you ever used the little pinprick things and had to test your?
I'm not diabetic, so I've never had to.
It sucks. It really did. I've used them before, and it's just every day. It's just you don't even have to hate needles to hate this process. It's just repetitive, and you constantly marking up your fingers or whatever. I think this would be a huge breakthrough to be able to test your blood sugar, through the skin and other things.
And not have to carry around that whole. Yeah, I've got a buddy who's diabetic. It seems very annoying.
But I mean, the more you can determine about the state of your blood, remember there was the calorie counter that was sort of on a wearable watch type of thing.
Right. Yes.
We tested it out, and it got some things correct, but not everything. I think this is a really big opportunity for Apple's health division in general, because it won't just stop at the blood sugar. They'll start being able to maybe figure out what your cholesterol situation is, and it's active monitoring of this really important stuff that normally we have to go to the doctor and get a blood draw for. But if you can just put a device on your arm that helps you understand where your health is at a deep level like that, that's huge.
It's essentially a tricorder.
Yeah.
What it is. Yeah. It's like a home tricorder. I'm all for that. I think that's awesome.
We put it that way.
All right. Well, there we go. So Apple, you can find out more about that at digitaltrends.com. You can read more on that. Let's get to the most important use of technology, though, and that is to make robots fight each other. And that's what we have. Now, we've known about this for a while. There's a U.S. company. I'll make sure I get the name right. They are called Megabots. And the CEO, the two co-founders of Megabots, challenged a Japanese company, a robotics company, for their Kuratas robot. The company is called Suidobashi. I'm probably saying it wrong. But anyway, they challenged this Japanese company to a battle. And so these are the full-on mech robots where somebody's inside of it controlling it. And they've challenged the Japanese company to a fight. The Japanese accepted the challenge. And now we've got at least a narrowed down time frame when this is going to happen. And I guess it's going to be August of this year is when we're going to actually see this battle take place.
So that's the American one?
That's the American one. So there's a picture that's up right now.
One?
I don't think we have a picture of the Japanese one. There might be some somewhere. I know what they wanted to include was hand-to-hand combat, and of course there's been lots of different issues with trying to make sure this is safe for the users, but also they can totally beat the crap out of each other.
Oh yeah,
The American
sure,
one
very
has
safe.
a giant chainsaw as an arm,
Yikes.
and then a gun of some kind. This is going to be incredible. I would get pay-per-view to watch this battle, assuming it works out like it's supposed to, and they're not just really slow. It's like moving very slowly. Okay, yeah, there are pictures of the Japanese one out there. But I think the bottom line is, who do you think can win this? Who do you think's going to win? And that's the big question. If you had to
Japanese.
place
I
a
feel like
bet,
the Japanese will.
I feel like they would be
Honestly-
the front runners. I don't know what the Vegas odds are, but I bet there are Vegas odds coming up
Oh
pretty
yeah,
soon.
there's got to be. And I'm really surprised that there isn't a ton of like sponsorship stuff smacked all over this.
Yeah.
You know, why hasn't Pepsi gotten in or Red Bull? Red Bull would be a great.
Red
partner
Bull
for
would
this.
totally. Well, there may be some more sponsors
Nas.
that are coming in on it. Okay, I'm trying to see here.
When
It
are
looks
they
like there are
having
some
this
odds.
fight?
So I guess it's going to be in August.
August.
And that's at least what they're saying right now. Now that could always be set back, but that is
And
what
it's
it's
gonna
sounding
air on
right now.
TV or something.
They haven't announced anything. It's got to. Like, they have got to get pay-per-view for this thing or something. I want to pay for it. I will watch this.
I have a feeling what's going to happen is that the American-built robot's going to come out. It's going to have this arsenal of weaponry, and it's going to be shooting things and sawing things and making a lot of noise, and it's
Yeah.
going to be very big and
It'll be flashy.
imposing. And then Japan's going to come in with their robot that that it looks all sleek and.
I mean, it
and
does look all
pretty.
sleek.
does look
Like
really nice.
it looks,
Yeah,
it looks,
Is that the
really
one? Is that the
cool.
it
one they're
looks
using?
way
though?
more refined.
And you know what?
Okay.
It's gonna like analyze the American robot's weaknesses, and it's gonna go like push a pressure point on the American robot. The American robot's just gonna fall to the floor. The whole fight is gonna last like 20 seconds and be over. And Japan's gonna be over there looking all gloaty and smug. Meanwhile, everybody
bitter
is
about
going to be
it.
Smug robot.
super upset about how short the fight actually ended up being.
You think so? You think it's gonna be
Yeah,
that
we want a
quick?
knockdown, drag out,
Like a real
45-minute
Oh, yeah.
gruesome spectacle. And Japan's going to go in there to win this as quickly as possible. They just want to dominate, I bet. It seems like that would be their strategy, because I don't know. Has anybody watched any like Robot Wars shows out of Japan before?
Not the ones in
No.
Japan.
I haven't seen them either. I think that would be I think it would be interesting to go, and if you really wanted to put some intelligence behind your bet, go check out how Japan, culturally approaches this sort of a thing, if they even have Robot Wars over there.
Oh, I'm sure they do. I mean, what was the show that used to be on? Was it Sci-Fi Channel where
There was a
BattleBots?
yeah, on ABC.
ABC.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't mess with the Japanese and their giant robots, right?
That's
No,
true.
I-
I mean,
see-
They are all
You
about their giant robots.
and that's
like,
what I mean. You would think they're the front runners
I mean,
for sure.
we have some giant robot, history over here in the Western world, but we tend to be a little bit like we dream a little bit smaller with. They're more like walking tanks, but the Japanese like they
They're fine,
have
for sure.
Their
like
fusion
ridiculous-
reactors are powering them.
Yeah, like ridiculous
Plasma
giant
rifles.
robots with like huge things coming off them that like
So when-
shoot lasers that go through 20 battleships.
Yeah.
So when the humans versus robot war breaks out, it's going to be in Japan. That'll be where it starts. I think. Is
Yeah.
that pretty much what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Either that or they'll have like the last defense force, which is
they'll start it,
all
but they'll also
piloted by
save
humans.
us at the
Yeah.
same time.
yeah.
All right. Well, so and we've got a picture up there. If you're watching live, there's a picture. I believe that's the Japanese robot. I don't know if they're going to be allowed to use wheels like that or not. Or
Yeah,
I'm
what,
not-
are, what are the rules
Yeah.
to this game?
Well, and that's what's kind of there's not a lot of information on that. They've worked out some of the deals, at least as far as how the combat's going to work. There's more information at digitaltrends.com. You can read some of the stuff there and really get into it. I think you're kind of right, though, in not seeing a lot of sponsorship. I don't think they're doing a good job of marketing it yet, because they've got to really, if you market this could be huge.
yeah,
This
I
could
don't
be-
understand
like
why it
get
isn't
some really
already.
good promo videos out there. Actually, the American one does have a pretty good one. I think he's walking around in like an American flag cape.
Yeah, we saw that
challenging,
earlier, I think.
challenging the Japanese. But anyway, that's going to be happening in August. I am excited for it, and I got to go with Japan too. I think Japan's got to be the front runner on this.
I mean,
thing.
I gotta be honest. Like,
I'll
I
root for the
think-
Americans.
I think
but-
the American one's
you know.
one's cheating a little bit by having tank treads.
Okay. Oh, so already.
Like, I think I don't feel like that's really in the spirit.
Okay.
At that point, it's just like a tank with arms.
But it's
Yeah.
a battle. I mean, you got to win. I think you do whatever you.
I mean, if
whatever
you're
you have
gonna
to
say
do.
like we're gonna have a giant robot fight, I feel like they have to like have some sort of limbs that move on the bottom. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I can.
it
I can
doesn't
kind of
feel
see
like
that.
it's in the spirit of it, but that's just my opinion.
All right. Well, there it is.
My opinion about giant robots.
You can voice your opinion about
That's what
giant
people
robots
come
right
here for.
Yeah, it
you know?
is.
Yeah.
I
No,
wonder
no.
what
it's-
those digital trends guys think about,
Yeah.
Robot
fighting
legs.
robots. Exactly.
Stay for the robot fight. All right. Well, I think that's about it for this week. And I want to say thank you to everybody who's tuning in today. Of course, you can watch live on YouTube and Facebook every Thursday at 2:30 p.m. Pacific time. But we do have the audio version of this podcast, which goes up as well. So you can subscribe on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. Definitely subscribe to that. And it'll show up as soon as we get this thing posted. And if you have anything you want to talk about, if you have any comments or questions you want to send in, you can always email podcast@digitaltrends.com and let us know about everything there. I think that's about it for today. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We'll be back next week with another episode.